All right, guys, what's going on? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And today is a day for celebration because as of the time of this recording, 24 hours ago, it was revealed by PlayStation that the number one trending game on their free-to-play games was indeed Splitgate 2. And then less than 24 hours later or so, we found out earlier today, as of the time of this recording, that the same is also true for Xbox. And if that wasn't enough, we've also pretty much confirmed that pretty much across the board, we've reached 1 million downloads for Splitgate 2. This is very good news, especially since we're still in beta form. I know it's a soft launch because we're going into release after beta, but I still think that the full launch of the game is still going to be significant compared to beta because we're going to get the full piece of the pie. Because right now what we're doing is we're getting kind of these rotations. When you look at the maps and the game modes and stuff like that, obviously we have the custom game browser and we also have the map editor, which is absolutely huge. It wasn't too long ago that I saw, a lot of pro players streaming the game and trying, playing pro or competitive settings in custom games using some of the maps that were created in the map editor as well. You've got a lot of people out there that are very talented that are creating really great things for the game. And the fact that the game is picking up steam by some people that are obviously, very popular in the gaming space, like Scump, that was one of the previous videos that I did recently, that is dedicating 1 year to this. It's nothing but good for the game. The more eyes that we have on the game, the better. Obviously, the fact that the previous gen consoles are involved as well is something that is absolutely huge. And it's working out for the game very, very well. So it's also important that this game continues the momentum it has. And one of the things that's definitely going to work out for it is the fact that it's actually not going to stop its momentum because we're going from beta straight to launch. It's not like we're going from beta and then we're going to take a month or so off until the full launch of the game. That's not going to happen. We're going from beta straight to launch. And if that wasn't enough, it's also at a good time right now to where there's not any other major shooters releasing just yet. So this gives Splitgate 2 the time to basically iron everything out, really identify itself, get eyes on the game, and give people a really lasting impression. And as I mentioned, even back in the days when I covered XDefiant, games only really have one chance to do this. And now that Splitgate has eyes on it and it's setting itself up for success, so to speak, I think it's really important that they continue to do what they're doing with the community's best interest at heart, as well as the community doing what they do in terms of, getting the word out there about this game. Because to this day, there are still people out there that had absolutely no idea about XDefiant, which is personally for me a very big heartbreaker because that game definitely deserved more. And obviously Ubisoft failed the game by not having marketing and stuff like that. But the marketing with this game so far, from what I've seen, has been pretty good because every single time I'm about to watch a video, from somebody about Splitgate 2 or just commentary or whatnot, or just watching video in general, I'm seeing, the ad that pops up is basically bits and pieces of the Splitgate 2 trailer. So this is definitely a good thing. And as things continue to get ironed out and as we continue to get more, I'm optimistic about the future of this game. And as long as the fun factor continues to remain the number one sole focus and the game keeps its identity and the game at its core remains to be centered around what it always has been, I think we're going to be in a really good spot. And I think a lot of community members are going to be very happy about it. And the fact that you're literally putting the game in the hands of the community members by having something like a lab creator and a map editor or whatnot, map creator, and then in the future, God knows what else they're going to have in for the game. I think right now, we've only been out for a week, if not slightly more. We're in a pretty good spot. I've put in already about 40 hours, if not close to that, into this game already. So I'm excited to see what they do next, and I'm excited to see what's going to continue to be revealed. And there's going to be plenty to be talked about on this channel. Now, one thing I will suggest, though, that one of their things that they need to do from a priority perspective, one of the things that they need to do is they need to optimize the game a little bit more, and across the board. So I don't know how consistent things are on the Xbox One and on the PS4, but in terms of Xbox Series S and X and PS5, I know that those consoles can go up to 120 frames, and right now we're currently limited to 60. And on the PC side of things, which is what I've been playing on, I got my version of the game from Steam, so basically I'm able to, in the settings from Steam, I'm able to do a FPS counter, and I've seen sometimes to where the game could be pretty consistent, and then there's other times to where I can go from, like, let's say 210 frames in a match all the way down to like the high 80s, and then in everything in between. And when that happens, it really does affect your experience. It feels like the game is lagging. It feels like your sensitivity all of a sudden is it feels like you're kind of a slug in terms of turning and stuff like that. The game is not as responsive because the frame rate is literally going all over the place. If it was even if it was in the high 80s, but if it was a consistent high 80s, it still would be better than frame rate that continues just to go up and down, because that just has like a really weird type of inconsistency to it that really you can really feel it if you play the game long enough. You can really feel it. And of course, if you have your FPS counter like up on the top right or wherever you choose to have it, if you download it from Steam or whatnot, you're going to be able to tell, and those numbers don't lie. So yeah, that's one thing that they need to work on across the board, if you ask me. And I think that's one of the things that they have in highlight from beta to launch, because when they launch, they want to launch as smoothly as possible and, with everything that the community wants. And then they want to, hit the ground running and not lose momentum and just keep gaining momentum. So that way this game can reach its destination. You know what I mean? And the destination that we're trying to reach is greatness. We want more eyes on the game. We want this game to become the next big player on the block. We want the game to continue to evolve. We want the community to be able to create and do what they do in the map editor and God knows what else. So the future is looking potentially bright for this game, and it absolutely deserves it, because so far the devs have done nothing but right by the community, and they continue to be transparent. They continue to work their asses off, and we've got a passionate community. As of right now, the community is growing thanks to the popularity of this game. But with that being said, Splitgate 2 is still in its infant stages, and it's still a small fry when it comes to the community, because there are a vast more of community members that are not as familiar with the game compared to the people who are familiar with the game. And I'm one of these people. I'm one of these people who is not as familiar with the game and its total history like the people that stuck around ever since the PC only version of Splitgate 1, and then it came on to console later. So, and thank goodness that we got it on console, because I wouldn't have even known about it if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the word of mouth, So we got to do our part now to basically keep spreading the word of mouth, so that way more people are aware of the game, because we do not want a repeat of what happened with X Defiant, because that game didn't deserve to get down. But obviously, Ubisoft obviously was part of the problem when it came to that, and obviously we already know what the other problems were. And the thing is, the game just didn't have the advertising, and at the same time, it wasn't making as much money as it should have. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, man. So we got to do everything that we could possibly do in order to keep things rolling. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna stop it here. So let me know in the comment section what you think, and what do you guys think that the player count is? We know we've had a little over 1 million downloads at this point, so it's like, what do you guys think the concurrent player count is? I remember reading. Let's see, what did I remember? I remember reading that I think in terms of peak hours we're like at 15,000 or something like that on Steam alone. And then obviously you've got all the consoles, namely, this Xbox Series S and X, PS5, and then you've got PS4 and the Xbox One. So I think the fact that we're on last gen consoles has certainly made a difference in my opinion, especially with this economy. So with that being said, guys, again, I can't wait to hear everything that you guys, or should I say in this case, read everything what you guys have to say in the comment section. And as always, I like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.